We have a lot to talk about today, which means it's time for a life update. Get ready with me. Actually, before we do that, I feel like I need to address the backdrop, which is still not complete, by the way. It's almost there. We're getting there, but I know that I posted several videos with a plain white background, and some people were very unhappy about that. I have been trying to improve basically everything about my videos for way too long at this point because I don't know anything about any of this stuff. So I finally figured out the microphone situation to make sure that sound is as good as possible a few months ago. And since then, I have been in the process of trying to improve lighting, trying to improve the background. I have had several weekends where I spend all day Saturday and all day Sunday just testing out different lights, different angles, different setups. Because again, I know nothing about any of this stuff. So I've been trying to figure it out, and that is why I had a plain white background for a while. I got the room repainted. I finally got this new dresser in that will be in the background of my videos from here on out, and I'm just waiting on like final touches to arrive for the decor. So thank you for your patience while I very slowly but surely figure that out. I do have one more video that's going to go up after this with the plain white background, but then after that, I promise that will be gone forever. But I'm so excited for you guys to see the final background and how it all comes together. It is going to be a huge improvement from the very dark, shadowy background that I had before. Sir, are you trying to crawl up on the table? You're a very strong boy. I will formally introduce you guys to him in a second, but I feel like maybe we should start off with a little mental health update first. I know that I left that kind of up in the air after the last life update I filmed. I told you guys that a lot of you had left comments on my videos why'd I say that? Suggesting that I look into OCD after opening up about a lot of the anxieties that I had surrounding my health and my intense fear of getting terminal illnesses. So after waiting 6 months on a wait list to get in and see a therapist that was recommended to me, actually also from one of you guys, I was diagnosed with health anxiety, generalized anxiety, both of which were not surprises to me. I already knew that, but also, as she described it, a little bit of OCD, for lack of a better phrase. So I don't necessarily check the box of like every common symptom of OCD that a lot of people who have OCD struggle with, but it definitely overlaps with a lot of things that I struggle with in my brain, like definitely my health anxiety, definitely my work habits. I just have like really compulsive, perfectionist, constant urges to work and improve things. As I literally just told you guys that I spent several weekends just trying to tweak my lighting. That's a good example. I feel like my brain is just constantly screaming at me to work. That's like really the best way I can describe that. And I've had a really, really hard time not giving into those urges over the past several years in building up my social media platforms. Like, it's kind of just created this perfect storm for me to be obsessed in a really unhealthy way with making things better, with doing more, with not stopping. And I've always been somebody that's a high achiever, but this definitely goes beyond that into kind of the land of OCD. And then I have some other symptoms that are a bit more common with OCD, like repetitive ruminating thoughts and checking that I have locked doors several times, even though I know that I just locked them. Things like that. Actually, while my sunscreen is drying, I might as well try to cover up this nice juicy zit. I do not know if this is from stress or the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint, but I have been getting some clogged pores on my chin, and I have not had that in a while. Anyway, so I have officially been diagnosed with all of those mental illnesses, and because it took me a while to get on a consistent schedule with my therapist, I'm still very much in the preliminary stages of figuring out what all of this means and working to improve it. But what I feel I have already what am I trying to say here? What I feel the biggest improvement has been for me so far that has made such a big difference for me is just being aware of my destructive thought patterns and behaviors. I think that's kind of the beauty of an official diagnosis. Like, it really opens up this door for you to understand why your brain thinks the way that it does, operates the way that it does. I'm like, I finally have an explanation for all of these crazy things that I think and do. And it feels really good just to have that explanation, even if it hasn't solved it. I think just knowing that like I don't have to actually believe every single thought that I have has been so freeing for me. And that probably sounds really crazy if you don't have anxiety or OCD, but that has really been my biggest struggle with my mental health over the last 10 years or so. I just did not have the toolkit that I needed to understand that the thoughts that I was having were not real. I didn't have to believe them. I didn't have to give in to them. I didn't have to fully panic every single time I had one of them. And again, I know that that might sound silly if you're not somebody who struggles with those kinds of things, but I genuinely believed every single negative thought that I had about my health for years. And those negative thoughts were always the absolute worst case scenario. Like, for example, I would see a bruise and my brain would immediately tell me, you have leukemia. I'd see a spot on my skin that I hadn't noticed before, and I would immediately believe, like fully in my heart, that's melanoma. I'd feel tingling and assume that I had some sort of fatal neurological condition. The list goes on and on and on and on. I can't even tell you the number of terminal illnesses I have fully convinced myself that I had. And the thing about that, when you have health anxiety, OCD, whatever you want to call it, you don't just have that worst case scenario thought and then that's it. Like, that is the start of all breaking loose in your brain. So anytime I would have a thought like that, that would kick off my next major meltdown. I would get a pit in my stomach, my heart would race, I would start sweating, I would get these urges to Google every symptom and everything there is to know about this disease. I'd immediately try to get in to see a doctor and freak out when there, of course, was like a little bit of a wait and I couldn't get in the next day. And then when I did get in to see the doctor, I wouldn't believe them when they told me that everything was okay and nothing was wrong with me. Like, I was convinced that they must have missed something. So I would try to go see a specialist for whatever condition I thought I had. And in the meantime, I would be going insane in my brain. Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Just like listing off symptoms or repeating things over and over and over about whatever disease I thought I had in my brain all day long and physically checking for symptoms. Like constantly feeling my lymph nodes anytime that I washed my hair to see if they were swollen, or taking zoomed in 4K pictures of a new spot on my skin. And then after days or weeks or sometimes months of fixating on that disease, it would kind of go away. There'd be something that would make me realize I didn't actually have it. Often it was just like the passage of time. But then a new sensation or symptom would emerge and the next freak out would begin. So that is just a sneak peek into what's been going on in my brain for the past 10 years or so. And I still get those intrusive thoughts all the time. I don't think that that's ever going to completely go away for me, and that is something that I've kind of come to terms with in therapy. I think at first I was asking her, like, how do I get these thoughts to stop? How do I stop telling myself that I have a disease? And she helped me to understand that it's like less about that, knowing that this unfortunately is just how my brain works as somebody who's mentally ill, but more about learning how to better cope with those kinds of thoughts when they inevitably emerge for me. And that's what I feel like I have already gotten so much better at doing. Like, I can identify these thoughts as anxious or intrusive thoughts now, and that alone helps me to just kind of, yes, initially have a little freak out because I'm not there yet where it's not scaring me, but letting it pass instead of having it spiral into full-fledged days, weeks, months-long panic every single time. Like, if anything, I think I just maybe don't feel so insane anymore, because I genuinely felt insane for so long. And like, I was in a constant battle with my own brain, which is the most exhausting, defeating thing to think ever. And that's really why I want to continue to just give you guys mental health updates, be honest about where I'm at, be honest about things that I've been through. Feeling like your brain is broken sometimes is really isolating, especially in the world of social media. And yes, I do think things have gotten better in the sense that a lot of people are just more open about their struggles than they used to be. But at the same time, I think social media is just always going to be something that by nature forces you to compare yourself and your life to other people, because so many people only put the absolute best of the best out there. And I don't want to be one of those people, because that's not my reality. Am I grateful and happy to be alive and excited about so many things? 100% yes. But do I also struggle? Yes. And that is something that I'm just learning to navigate every single day. But if I can help anybody to just like feel seen in their struggles and not so alone and isolated, in the sense that they don't have this like perfectly happy, everything's good brain all the time, then that is enough for me to continue sharing these things, because I really wish that I had someone like that in my life when things were at the absolute worst of the worst for me. All right, now that we got that heavy stuff out of the way, that's also kind of why I wanted to do that first, so we can end on a lighter note. I need to actually just finish this mascara quickly off camera, because there's no way I can do what I need to do next while doing mascara, and that is introducing you to my new puppy. Say hi, buddy. This is Finn. Dear old Finnegan. Oh, you can't lick my makeup. That'd be really bad for you. He is an absolute sweetie pie. Oh my goodness. Are you Elsie's new little brother? You are? What does she think about that? She's not so sure about you yet, is she? My sister Libby is actually here playing with him right now, so I'm gonna hand him back over to her because I don't think he's gonna sit still while I do this, and I'll definitely insert some videos and pictures while I'm talking about him. Because we can't get enough of your cute face. We seriously can't. We're obsessed. Hi, Peanut. Come here. Oh my goodness, she feels so much heavier now just because he's gotta be like no more than 5 pounds. But you're still my baby, and you're still my soulmate and the love of my life. You can't like my makeup either. So I started thinking about getting a second dog last year because Elsie is just the most playful, energetic, social girl, and she really thrives around other dogs. And you guys have obviously seen editor Emily's dog Quincy here in a lot of videos. They are best buds, they love playing, but he obviously can't be here all the time. That is editor Emily's dog, not mine. So I knew that that's something that I really wanted for Elsie, and I grew up with 2 dogs in my family and always loved that. I obviously love dogs so much, so I just knew like this is something I know I want to do. I just don't know exactly when. Obviously it's going to be a bit stressful at first, just getting adjusted to that training, but I got to the point this year where I was like, you know what, I'd rather just do this now and like get the stress over with while Elsie is younger and while I don't have any kids. Like it just felt like it was the right time. But that was a decision that both Ryan and I thought a lot about and came to together because he is actually going to be moving into my house this fall. So I was like, I'm obviously not going to get a second dog if that's not something that you want. Like this needs to be something that we both want, we both see as good for Elsie, for us. And Ryan is also madly in love with Elsie. They have the sweetest relationship ever. She cries every time he comes through the door. Every single time. The little noises she makes. She just loves him so much. So he was like, yes, let's do it. This is the right thing to do. So he was also excited about doing that for her and also us and just having a new baby in the family. We are definitely still in the adjustment phase. At first, Elsie just completely ignored him. And then she absolutely hated him for a few days. Just like, what are you doing in my house, in my bed, on my couch, next to my mom?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
But she has already started warming up to him and started showing some interest and like done a couple play bows, which makes me so excited. I just cannot wait to watch them play together and be best friends. Like my heart is not gonna be able to handle that. So now I am a dog mom to 2. What? I really didn't think that I would be a dog mom to 2 at 31 with no kids. I didn't think that was gonna be what happened. So to backtrack, because I know a lot of you are gonna want more deets on the Ryan situation and updates there. So his lease is up at the end of September and then he'll be moving into my house after that. We are definitely like ready for that next phase and excited to live together, but I think both of us are also just like enjoying these last few months of living alone. He actually still lives in the cities and he's never lived with a significant other. I obviously have, but it's been a while. I think it's been a full 4 years since I lived with somebody else. I've had my own space with things exactly how I like them, where I like them, how I like them for 4 full years now. So this is gonna be an adjustment for me. Like the thought of a boy infiltrating my closet, I'm like that Whoopi Goldberg clip where she's like, I don't want anybody in my house. Except I actually do. I am really excited. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I know I've said that he owns a business that has a location both here in Minnesota and in Naples, Florida, but he actually splits his time between the 2 locations. So he'll do 2 weeks in Naples, 2 weeks in Minnesota, go back and forth 2 weeks at a time. So we have been doing that for our entire relationship, which I won't say has been hard. Like it hasn't been hard. We really just have the easiest, most like low stress, low anything difficult kind of relationship. So it's not been hard. Like it really hasn't. It's just obviously not ideal all the time. I mean, it does have its perks. I will say that. I think actually editor Emily was like, your relationship setup is like my dream relationship situation because then you get your alone time and like you're not always just like breathing down each other's throats.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong?
And I will say that yes, like it does come with some pros. Ryan and I are both super independent, both super focused on work and like have our own businesses going with work. So that helps to like kind of like have some separate time to focus on that. And then we can miss each other and come back together and just like appreciate the time that we have together even more. But we're also both super outgoing people. I'm really extroverted. He's even more extroverted than me. So I don't like a lot of alone time. I actually like really struggle. So that is obviously one of the things that's like not as ideal about this part-time long distance setup that we have, and something that makes me even more excited for him to move in, because then it's like we can just really maximize the time that we have together when he is here. So everything is really good with us. I wish I had like some sort of juicier update to give you guys, but things are just good and steady and solid right now, and that's really how our entire relationship has been. So we've been together for over a year at this point, like a year and 4 or 5 months. Dang, I feel a little too shiny. I need some more powder, which is crazy to think about. I'm like, the way I hated Hinge with my entire being. Yet here I am about to have somebody I met off of Hinge move in with me after we've been dating for a year and a half. Like, I hated you, Hinge, but like, thank God for you, because we would not have met in real life had it not been for that. Which I think is everything that I want to cover in this life update, since I'm done with my makeup. We've come to an end here. But there's still a lot that I want to talk to you guys about, just to answer some questions I've gotten about marriage, kids, freezing my eggs, some work things that have been going on. So I will definitely do another life update covering those kinds of things in a couple of months. And if you have any other questions that you want me to talk through in that video, definitely leave them in the comments of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and getting ready with me today. Thank you so much for watching this video and all of my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one, because that will be up a week from today. But until then, I hope you have a great week.